All right, DC fans, here we go. We got Lanterns coming up, Supergirl, Clayface, and DC Crime, the one, the only Jimmy Olsen headlining his own series. Hello everyone, welcome to Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to the channel and a fan of the DCU, hit that subscribe button. I talk about it and discuss it with you all the time right here on the channel. And today I'm going to talk about this news that broke. It's been kind of like rumored and kind of trickling in every once in a while. But Jimmy Olsen is going to get his own series. And now it is official. It's officially been greenlit. We're going to get it. I think this is the one James Gunn mentioned a little while ago. He said there is a series. I don't know why it hasn't been greenlit yet. I guess we're trying to figure out the funding of it. And the funding we'll get into in the story. I think there's a reason for that. But it looks like this is happening. And let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Would you watch one called DC Crime following the zany adventures of Jimmy Olsen? Let me know. And special shout out to channel members Jordan Saylor and the Hotness McAwesome. And this is a Hollywood Reporter exclusive from Boris Kitt, and it might be one of the smartest moves DC Studios has made yet, in my opinion. The article reveals that Don Perot and Tony Asenda, the creators of American Vandal, have been tapped to develop and showrun a Jimmy Olsen spin-off series with Skylar Gisondo returning to his role as Jimmy Olsen. And season 1 is focusing on Gorilla Grodd. And listen, I said it's brilliant, and I think it is, and it's also strategic. It is a Gunn-era power move, because on paper this sounds insane. The Jimmy Olsen show where the villain is a psychic gorilla who rules a hidden city. But once you think about it, you realize this is exactly how you build a universe the right way. Now, for anyone who doesn't immediately clock the name, Gorilla Grodd is one of the oldest and wildest villains in DC Comics. He first appeared in 1959, usually as an enemy of the Flash. Grodd is a super-intelligent telepathic gorilla from Gorilla City, a secret civilization of hyper-advanced apes hidden in Africa. He's part scientist, part conqueror, and he's obsessed with proving his species' superiority over humanity. So yeah, he's not just a talking ape. He's a genius tyrant with mind control powers, political weight, and massive visual presence. That's why using him here is so smart. Grodd embodies everything strange and ambitious about the DC universe. The stuff that shouldn't work, but totally can, if handled correctly. First, let's think about what this can mean tonally. The showrunners are masters of satirical realism. American Vandal took a ridiculous premise, graffiti shaped like, and turned it into prestige-level drama. They made absurdity feel authentic. That's the exact tone this series needs, because the Daily Planet side of the DCU has always been this bridge between normal people and gods. Jimmy Olsen's world is where the unbelievable becomes believable. Putting that tone in the hands of those writers means we're not just getting comedy, we're getting a mockumentary-flavored investigative journalism take on the DCU. Picture it, shaky cam interviews with witnesses describing some kind of giant telepathic ape, reporters arguing about ethics, Jimmy trying to prove himself while everyone thinks he's delusional. It's funny, grounded, and so DC at the same time. And that's the thing. This show kind of feels like it was designed to gauge the audience appetite for the deeper corners of the DCU. It's a soft launch strategy. And I mean that in the smartest way possible. You don't need to announce Gorilla City in a massive film. You just introduce it quietly as part of a grounded investigative storyline. Let viewers discover the weirdness gradually through the eyes of people like Jimmy. That's what Gunn's approach does best. It turns lower tier characters into emotional entry points. You start small, you build texture, you make the audience fall in love with the world, not just the heroes. This is world building through tone, not through cameos. Every one of these projects feels like it's testing something different. Animation style, tone, format, humor level, emotional range. Jimmy Olsen's series is the perfect mid-sized experiment. It's not an A-tier hero, not a total unknown, but it gives Gunn and Safran the freedom to play in the DC sandbox without serious pressure. And let's be real, Grodd is a heavy CG character. He's expensive. So the fact that they're willing to build a show around him means they believe in the tone, not just the spectacle. The American Vandal team isn't going to rely on VFX to carry the story. They'll make Grodd feel real through tension, mystery, and absurd human reactions. That's what can make this work. Imagine if the first time we see Grodd is through some distorted security footage, interviews, whispered rumors of a beast in the jungle. By the time we actually meet him, it's cinematic but earned. It's scary, funny, and fascinating all at once. And that's the sweet spot for DC. Unapologetically weird but emotionally believable. Now, Skylar Gisondo leading this thing, perfect casting. He's awkward, he's charming, and he's very self-aware, and he was fantastic in Superman. Exactly the kind of everyman energy Jimmy Olsen needs to anchor this chaos. If this show lands, Gisondo becomes the audience's lens into the DCU. He's our perspective character, the guy reacting to all the insanity that the gods and monsters don't even notice. What I love about this direction is that it shows confidence. Gunn and Safran aren't rushing to pump out more Batman or Wonder Woman stories, though they will be soon. They're world-building sideways, exploring the fabric of the universe instead of just the figureheads. That's how you make the world feel lived in. A show like this also sets up so many possibilities. Gorilla Grodd opens the door for Gorilla City, which connects to Flash lore, to metahuman genetics, to the larger ecosystem of DC's secret civilizations. You could tie that into themes of evolution, technology, even alien interference. That's one villain connecting multiple corners of the DC map, all through a newsroom investigation. It's the same kind of creative DNA we've seen Gunn use before. Take a ridiculous concept and make it work, because the characters believe in it. It's never played as a joke at the world's expense. It's played as a joke at the character's expense, and that's key. Jimmy taking himself too seriously, trying to be a real investigative journalist while stumbling into psionic warfare with an ape dictator, that's gold. But it's pure DC spirit. And let's not overlook the format potential here. With the American Vandal team, you could easily see this show playing like a serialized mystery, almost like Office meets X-Files. Each episode could focus on a case or clue, leading a bigger arc about Grodd and Gorilla City. That allows DC to weave in smaller villains, cameos, and mythos teases without overwhelming the audience. It's the ultimate entry-level expansion pack for the DCU. This is also great brand strategy. The show broadens the audience beyond comic readers. People who wouldn't necessarily watch a superhero series might tune in for an absurd investigative mockumentary. Then, boom, by episode 5, they're learning about telepathy, metahuman evolution, and Gorilla City politics. That's how you onboard casual viewers into a complex mythos. So when the Hollywood Reporter drops something like this, it's not just a fun headline, it's a signal. It's DC Studios quietly testing the waters of how far they can go with tone, weirdness, and structure. It's them saying, we don't need to spoon-feed this universe, we trust the audience to come along for the ride. And honestly, that's why this might be one of the most important upcoming DC projects we've heard about. It's not about scale, it's about intent. You can see long-term thinking baked in. Use Jimmy Olsen to expand the mythology, use Grodd to test audience tolerance for sci-fi absurdity, use a mockumentary tone to humanize the impossible. That's not randomness, it's design. It's storytelling evolution. It's the DCU learning how to walk before it sprints into Justice League level territory. And one thing that I absolutely love about this idea, about this DC crime being this show, is that I think TV series for these new IPs, like the way that we're having these universes, whether it's Marvel, Star Wars, DC, or whatever, is the shows, I think, need to be smaller. If they want to talk us into seeing a movie on the big screen, you can't give us a movie on the small screen every week. It needs to be these smaller stories. They're very important stories, very good stories, well-made stories. I'm not saying don't make this as great as you can, but it's a smaller scope and it earns the bigger scale cinematic theatrical experience, right? These series on your small screen earn you wanting to go see an epic story on the big screen. I think these are important, and I think this is the way to go, right? You don't put Batman show on TV, though it worked. It worked in the 60s, and I love that show dearly. I mean, it does work on TV. We've seen it, obviously. CW was very successful for a long time with their live-action series, but I'm just saying, you know, when you're building out this DCU, this whole new universe, and you want me to go see Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, The Flash, all these characters on the big screen, you got to give me something on the small screen that will feed my interest, but not make me full, and I think this is the way to go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate your time. Hit the like button, subscribe, and until next time, may you be the master of your own universe.